custom blocks to streamline interface bright. Without them you're stumbling, lost in the night. Mini helper jump through the tides, hyper portals where destiny hides. Every tool, every place to go. With these weapons, let your glory show. Do you have 20 NOS? That's all you need. Buy it now, let your dreams succeed. Supercharge, customize in the flow. With these tools, watch your power grow.
Hey. Hot off the presses of the last video where I just took a drink of water, now we can get in and actually wrap this asset finally, because my goal is to no longer leave assets just not complete. I'm trying to be more dedicated to finishing the job like G.I. Joe. So, you know, either that's stupid and dumb, and I'm stupid and dumb, and everything's stupid and dumb, and I totally, bro, everything's stupid and dumb. I mean, sounds like a 15-year-old though. Like, it's like a teenager thing to think. Be like, yeah, everything's stupid and dumb. But I mean, everything probably is. So let's Alt-4, we'll jump over into Insolve, and let's just start pressing W to see what axes we get. And do we have the ability to press G and move only the tips? This is one of the limitations of basically project at this time. It should basically allow us to grab the tips and move them. And as a result, what I have to do is press Alt-E, extrude vertices, which the Blender way is also a very beautiful way, except to make that work, I do have to deselect this one, and we can press Alt-E, extrude vertices. Let's try that again. Okay, extrude vertices. I don't know why it got weird. And we'll grow it by 1, and then press Q, and then go under booleans and shift click knife, and knife just is beautiful. So, you know, whenever I talk about tools competing with each other, I always say that, hey, this tool X is the other tool's ghost racer. Like, it is its rival racer, and that is a good place to be as a tool, but also it has to defeat it. Like, you know, box cutter is able to be very good with geometry and cutting it. Even the blue box is just so great because it's had such a long time to be refined to perfection. So as a result, it is great. And to catch up to it and to even do topology any better, what a journey. I can't even say that's a promise, like a campaign promise, like I'm running for president. I campaign that we're going to make a better blue box than blue box. Like, that's a crazy discussion to say, because like I said, that thing's like black magic. Sorry, had a burp. Now trying to do that on camera, then I would be a pig roach. People would be comparing me to DSP. I don't want that either. Not trying to be that way. So let us just make the connection. And I still have AI music playing in the background, just because, you know, otherwise you would just hear me talking about it instead of playing it. I'm pretty sure this one's actually out of the iTunes, so that means it's going to play only the favorites, the ones I love the most, mainly. Let us place this here, and I'm just looking at this thinking, you know, does that loop even have to exist? And you ever watched a TV show so bad? Never mind, I should stop. But I do have a whole routine about it. I was gonna say, you ever see a show so bad you just stopped binging shows for the rest of the day? You just lost the will to binge shows. Let us grab this, and we will GG slide it down. You know, it's getting late in the day, meaning it's time to relax. Actually, in 1 minute, it is time to take the first shot of the day. Which, coming from a family of alcoholics, it's like an accomplishment to not be an alcoholic. It's an accomplishment to be such a little girl that I can't handle alcohol. Literally, like, it's funny. You know, sometimes people will be bartender and they will destroy me. And it's like, dude, I think I'm gonna have to rethink our friendship, bro. Like, you're not allowed to come to my house and do that to me. Have me crying at the toilet. You know, nothing sadder than crying on the toilet. I mean, on the toilet is also doubly bad, right? Because that means your bowels have loosened. That means you really drank. But to just be sad at the toilet and holding on to the toilet as your only friend in this reality, just the worst fate, guys. I hate it. But people think it's funny to do it to me. So don't do that to me, all right? Give me a bunch of drinks and then put me in a random taxi cab. That would be funny. Like, I mean, you know, life is about being funny. I mean, that's why I just stay inside, because my sense of humor is, like, I think illegal. Am I clicking the wrong button? This is why I need words. I was actually very mad about the fact that there was no words, because I'm a words guy, and I was like, oh my god, it just seemed like a betrayal to me. It's like, you know, I'm about the words. I'm about the words. Dude, why would I write a plan where I don't have words? Ooh, I'm an old man. How many times do I gotta say it in a video? And then for you to respond and say, oh yeah, I never watch your videos. Like, ooh, zing, bro. These are called microaggressions. Not to be a SJW. In fact, I get called a SJW whenever I tell people about these musical facts. Like, when I start telling people, I'm like, hey, this band leader right here did terrible things at his shows. He's like, he didn't do nothing terrible to me. I'm like, dude, you didn't get backstage, obviously. You know, in the Vans Warped Tour in 98, he put on such a good show. It's like, dude, Vans Warped Tour in 98, he was, never mind. I'll stop. That's like going to be a thing I talk about all the time. Just musical villains in the real world. Because there's like this band, you know, if you're looking for something funny to look up just to understand more of the nonsense I ramble about, there's this guy, Radkey, from this band called, what is it, Game Over? No, Falling in Reverse. No, or Davi. Dang, Davi. I'm trying to remember his full name. Like, these people aren't worth being remembered because they're terrible. But there's this guy, Davi, and these guys all do super edgelord music. That's what's crazy, actually. I just realized the connection in this video. That these guys do, like, the most edgelord 16-year-old girl appealing to music ever. And they would just basically be taking advantage of them. But, yeah, Davi was terrible. But there's this other one, Radkey, who, he's still around now, Falling in Reverse. And, I mean, I'm not saying these are bands that I'm still listening to, even though they got canceled. I mean, we're talking about old emo like Panic at the Disco, which, hey, don't be accusing me of listening to Panic at the Disco. That's an insult. But that's a different joke. That's a joke only pertinent to, like, literally one person who knows me, that remembers that I never got down with Panic at the Disco, even though they took over the world. But I'm a kind of music obsessed, like, but I'm only obsessed with, like, the worst music ever. Like, when I was, like, talking about it, you'd be like, oh, dude, I didn't listen to that because I'm not a loser. It's like, oh, well, this conversation's over. Dang, my bad. But if you were a loser, right, I mean, when you're from a country town, what do? Then get up to Edge, right? Like, I always talk about how there used to be that time in the MySpace days when a person would be able to get on a computer and be like, I am so-and-so's dad. Stop talking to this person or I'm going to call the cops. And you just have no choice but to be like, yes, sir. Like, it's so funny to think about now. But it is just a funny thing, too. It's just a funny thing. I'm sorry. I got sidetracked. I received a vibration on the anxiety watch. That's what happened. I'm telling you, if I get a vibration, it's over. Don't vibrate me. No, I'm playing. You can vibrate me, guys. I give you permission. Never mind. Hey, I'm shouting out to the wrong types of boys in the audience. Be shouting out the good old boys and the golden boys, or I don't know who's in style right now. Is it the golden boys, the good boys? The good boys. Hey, if it's the good boys, and it's just a bunch of dogs. But no, I'm making a joke about the other boy, the Proud Boys. You know, they were so proud till they stormed the Capitol. Never mind, I won't make jokes there. But I'm telling you, there's so many things in life that they're worth it. They're worth the jokes, but you know, we must all remain civil always. And we're just looking at this, and I'm thinking, you know, we want to. This is probably one of my favorites of like all time as far as songs go. You know, when I hear this one, it's over. It's over. It's all over. I don't know. Something about being enchained by the in-suite. I mean, the music writes itself. The universe writes itself. I mean, who knows? I'll probably take this whole thing and run off to a human and be like, hey, you'll need people to embezzle things, right? They'll be like, hey, take this and make it human. It's like, what does that mean? It's like, remove anything that makes it detectable by AI. Make it human. Put your name on it. It's now credited to you. Like, that's what I foresee in the future with all the AI shame, is that one day we're going to have to be like, yo, can I put this thing that I did in your name? It's like, no, that's an abomination. But no, I'm just making jokes here. Ooh. We're just seeing what we're able to do here, and bada bing, bada boom. Alright, I should stop saying mobster words because it just reinforces Jerry's a mobster theory, which I'm not. I'm a terrible mobster. They call me so-and-so the compassionate because, you know, if someone gives me any excuse, I just accept it. Or if you catch me on the wrong day, I won't accept it. I'll be like, listen, excuses are easy. They fit. They fit. And you tell people where they can fit that excuse in that same conversation, because that's what you do with an excuse. You take an excuse and you make it fit. And so I'm not an excuse-based person. I am a person who does not like making excuses. And that's not like because of how I was raised or anything. I just realized that, you know, failure is just terrible. Terrible. Can't be a failure. Cannot. I must fight. And I'm not. That's not even the AI garble talk. Even though they're talking about this story. Basically, in this act, he gets destroyed and thrown off the building. So I have to bring him back to life. I'm telling you, it's now turned into a multiverse. So whenever my girlfriend's like, "Hey, multiverses suck," I'm like, "Oh my god, why are you insulting me?" I'm telling you, she's too based. She's too based for me. Ooh, I slid everything. You know, we talk about slide being good sometimes. That is slide being good, not that time. Alright, so sometimes slide be good, sometimes slide be not good other times. Like, also didn't mean to slide. Also, alt scroll needs a hyper rapid toggle TF off. Alright, and that's how I work. Like, I will pressure cook. I call it pressure cooking. Like, I will cook with a tool for a long time, let it hurt me, learn the pain, study the pain, analyze the pain. And I mean, I just have this infinite list of just things. Just, I mean, years, spanning years, the entire time of this tool. Like, I see that now at this point, I should probably just be going over these dockets and just be like, listen, this is what I was wishing I could have done then, and will probably never accomplish now. And this is what I wanted then, and I will never accomplish it. You know, that's how I preface everything, just to really lay it on. You know, gotta be dramatic, right? Because I listen to too much edgelord scene music, so I gotta be like completely extra and stupid. Oh yeah, I love making AI cuss. Now, the reason I'm obsessed with the Rabbit God now is because, like, previously I was like using Cthulhu as like the villain. Like, I basically had a character fighting against Satan, right? And I was like, wow, am I trying to bring people to Christ? Because it started to get like that, and I don't know, it started to get kind of weird. But I mean, it's still bang. But, you know, I'm not trying to be the newsboys, all right? That's not my job. It's not my job to bring people over to the good Lord. And also, if machines were bringing people to the Lord, hey, is that good or bad? It depends. Are you religious? Like, but if I was like, yo, I made 800 people into Christians using a machine, was that good or bad? That's what I want to know in the comments. Like, be like, yo, MX, help the Lord. Get the Lord those followers. It's like, wait, the Lord just wants followers? Jesus needs followers? Dang, Jesus needs money. Now he needs followers. Dang. It's complex to serve the Lord. One day in the far future, Jesus is going to need photons. Be like, dang, Jesus, you need photons? How do you even know what photons are, dog? You know, because they'll never update the Bible, because they just never do. They should. You know, that's what would bring me in. They'd be like, yo, are you on that new update? I'd be like, yo, I'm reading that new Bible 2 point, not the Ron L. Hubbard. Don't be recommending me Ron L. Hubbard, okay? I'm just having fun here, not asking for religious guidance, all right? Have me on a ship serving for 1,000 years, all right? Also, you know, I'd have to change my name. I couldn't even be MX because, you know, our boy wouldn't be down with that. Not trying to get canceled by that. Hey, I'm afraid of some things, all right? I'm afraid of that. Hey, y'all think this is like the cringiest thing ever? Wait till I show y'all the dances, right? Because I'm a black guy. So obviously there's got to be dances. Like, you got to pop and lock to this. Like, you got to break it down, all right? I'm just looking at my lapel mic just to make sure that the battery's good. But yeah, we got to pop and lock to this. And I mean, you're like, where does it end? Is he going to use generative AI for that? It's like, no, I believe in a human effort. But look, if you ain't trying to dance, hey, I'll dance. And also, you know, there's so many things that are just hard to do in 3D. Like, look, if animators were just plentiful, right, I would be trying to get at animators. But they're like rare. Like, you know, I'd look at people like Pokemon. Like, people are like, yo, I know an animator. I'm like, what? How'd you know an animator? They're like, no, I just met him, dude. He was like in a room animating. I'm like, word? But that's how you find an animator. You just find them. Like, they're just like in rooms animating. You know, because that's the secret to becoming a good animator. Animating is like modeling. Everybody's just in a room doing it, not talking to each other. Which is the biggest thing I found out in 3D was just that everybody's just not talking to everybody. Like, I thought like that this whole 3D scene when I started was like owned by like Asians. Like, I was like, dude, I bet like there's like Jackie Chan's in 3D that are just like, yo, like, I talk about how I get defeated in Tetris by people with unpronounceable names. So I mean, maybe Asians is the wrong term, but their names aren't pronounceable and they're like Chinese symbols. Boy, when you say come to me, let me solve you, man, that is the money. Not as far as like it'll make money, but you could sell me that CD on the street and I'd be like, so they're talking about solving people, like mysteries. like yo, I'll solve you like a mesh mystery. Also, what am I doing? This is where I would do like, how much patience do I have is the question, you guys. That's the question I have. How much patience do I have? How much patience do I legit have? All right, I keep saying it. Sorry. Sometimes I do that. I'll just ask the same question over and over for dramatic effect. I guess I'm doing that. But how much patience do I have? All right. The answer is freaking none. We could end this. We could end this now. We just swipe, 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 swipe. A little dissolve with a little alt. Oh my god, I didn't turn on display keys. Oh my god. 17 minutes in. Alright, I apologize for that. That is truly the worst thing I've done today. I think. Probably done more. Yeah, in the eyes of the Lord, we're just all sinners, guys. You know, there's nothing we can do to please Him, so we're just on our knees. Unless you're, never mind. Religious jokes. Insert religious jokes, inappropriate religious jokes. I mean, I didn't do it. I wasn't a priest. Anyways, we are just modeling here and just having fun. And I mean, in this view, it just looks sick. It just looks sick as hell to me. Like, you know what I don't like is that being so long. We don't rock long geo, alright? We do alt cut through. So, you know, someone asked in another video, like, hey, are you going to add Ingon to basically insolve? And it's like, yeah, of course. I mean, Ingon's just a type of cutter. It's like a free-form cutter. So it's not like these things are proprietary ideas. But, I mean, there are lines, of course. But we aren't going to lower the efficiency of the tool in its greatest goals, which is dealing with topology in a creative and dynamic fashion by denying ideas that worked. Box cutter obviously remains king and lord. Lord. Just kidding. I just like saying that every time I say lord. It's just a joke. So here's the thing. I don't want to solve 32 rounders, all right? I was going to make a joke about malt liquor, but my girlfriend didn't like any of my malt liquor jokes. You know what she said? She said, you don't even drink malt liquor. I was like, the viewers don't know that. They don't know that. I could just make a malt liquor joke and it would be funny, you know, but she is right. I don't drink malt liquor because, you know, I'm a gin guy. Gin is like so cheap, and that's what everybody points out when I bring it up. Select these guys. What's happening here? Yeah, there we go. So how do we want to solve this? So I'm going to press Alt X, and we are going to, let's first apply every rotation, and then we're going to Alt X. Let's Control A, Visual Geometry to Mesh. Alt X, and then oh god. All right, so we can't bisect everything at the same time. You know what'd be crazy is if we could two shape all of them to this bisect thing. Like I see that we should bisect into quarters or fractional pieces. Like basically, I just see it. You just like you're seeing right now me realizing the light, and this is the light that I'm realizing. I'm realizing that having to do this many times in a row is not a trick. Like it seems like a trick. Like it's like, yeah, that's a cool trick. You know, it's also a cool trick. Making that 800 times more efficient. That would be a cool trick. Like, hey guys, look what you're not doing anymore next week. Like for reals. Like I'm about to ask that this is automated immediately. Like, look, circles. Recircle was one of the ideas on the initial docket. So whenever people say things like, "Oh, I'm not amazed with Insolve," I just laugh because it's funny. Because of course it's not impressive. I didn't get to do everything I wanted to do because I was a petulant child. I asked for too many things. So we're gonna hit this with a screw, and we just press X, 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 and we'll press C just to make sure it works, and we'll click and hope that that works out. Let us press Q. We'll jump into screw again. Let's press 1, maybe 2, maybe 1, and we'll leave it there. And let's look at it now. And now that we broke it down to 12, I'll punch back into work and we'll solve this, all right? Before, no, I'm not going to solve that. I'm on lunch. Leave me alone. You know, you're riding me. You tell the boss man. You're like, stop. You know, you're not paying me enough for this. So we're going to control click to apply this. We want to apply these visible mods. So we'll just hit that. And then we're just going to go to a state when there are no modifiers. So we're just going to toggle the modifiers. And really the other side doesn't even have to exist. So you just get rid of it. Who cares? And from here, we are going to just add a few loops, you know, hard loop. You know, for when you need a loop, harder than hard. I mean, how do you not make jokes about being hard? I mean, come on. Come on. All right, I can't because my girlfriend's in the other room and she's going to hear me and she's going to talk to me about hardness problems and make fun of me about it, and that's less funny than these jokes, all right? That's what I'm saying. She's too based, guys. You know, she's like wife Kelly. No, I'm kidding, but she does get her point. And let's get in here, and you know, the only reason I don't switch to knife is that it's faster to not, almost. And that's a crazy thing to realize over the course of using this. Like, because I'm telling you, like I may have mentioned in a previous video that I have an idea now for something called multi. Like basically we need one operation to do multiple things now, all at once. Sorry, I had to pause to cough. I'm over here dying. You know, I don't know if I'll ever be healed, but I'm healed enough. All right, healed enough to model. And also I wasn't damaged enough to stop modeling, so never stop. Even though, watch me die from corona next week. Like I'm telling you, I have the weakest immune system. You know, theorizing that my brain is rotting out from syphilis would also be a valid theory, except, you know, you're totally assuming that I got some, that I get a lot, and that is also cool. Like, hell yeah, bro, I get laid a lot, yeah. No, I'm playing, but no, that's crazy. The better you are at modeling, the worse you are at loving, alright? You know, I have a weak hip game. You gotta be talking about other people's tools, and then I start throwing the hip more fiercely. No, I'm more blender jokes, more experimental blender jokes. You either tune in for them, or you're gonna need to tune out, but I won't stop unless I start seeing sponsors canceling. You know, right now we're sponsored by Hard Ops and Box Cutter, I'm also sponsored by, I think that's about it. Also sponsored by Insol. It'd be crazy, give the tools personalities and then have them like hire and fire at will and let them be the gods, the tools themselves, like the tools themselves be the merit system dictating, are you serving the tool? Are you serving the tool? Because that's all I really care about. I serve the tools. Like, that's the secret to it lasting so long, is I serve the tools. I'm like, thank you, thank you, thank you. When I get places like driving, I thank my car. I'm like, thank you, car. Thank you so much. And I don't care if it looks weird. What looks weird is being wrapped around a tree. That's not my plans. I'm trying to go have a pizza. Just because I said that, I might have to leave and go have a pizza. These are bad decisions, right? Like, you worry about me making bad decisions, that's a bad decision. It's me leaving. I'm gonna have to go get the pizza now. Sorry, guys. It's Saturday. It's Saturday. Come on, do I deserve a pizza? No, I'm playing. Ask you guys if I deserve a pizza. You'll be like, no, get back to work, monkey. It's like, monkey? Alright, sure thing, Master Frieza. Alright. So from here, I'm just looking at like mouse distances and stuff. Like, there's whole levels of talking that I don't even want to get to yet, where we talk about mouse distances and being efficient for our mouse movements, because that's like the most important thing, is like a gesture efficiency. And the moment I started talking about this and everybody was just like, I don't know what in the F you're talking about, I was like, dude, we got to get this thing out the door right now, so I can start getting raw data, because this is a whole level of talk that the world's just not ready for, if the world's not having it. But I hate moving, like, when I see people move the mouse 10 miles, I point it out and I'm like, yo, you just moved the mouse 10 miles to do that. Like, no, that's not cool. Like, I just moved the mouse 10 miles to do that. Like, call me out. Like, I'm a freaking loser, idiot, failure. Here I am being, I'm just joking, of course. I don't really, this is what I'm saying in my head. In this book I read about tennis, they talked about how we have this most critical self in ourselves, and we must separate ourselves from that and learn to be analytical with our failures. Instead of destroying ourselves for failing. Here I am talking about life advice now. Terrible, I'm sorry. This is where I become truly terrible, guys. But yeah, we must stop destroying ourselves in our minds. And I see I do it, and I must work on it. Like, that'll be my greatest victory. I'll ask AI how I can improve at it. Like, how can I stop beating myself up? And it'll be like, you can forgive yourself for letting down the human race. Just kidding. A little more AI destruction humor. It's just funny. It's just funny, guys. Until the world's destroyed, and then it's not so funny. Until the world's actually destroyed. The world is just such an interesting place. I don't even know if I like humans anymore. I still do, but just human struggles, man. And that's fine. That's part of being human, right? Humans beat me in Tetris. Chinese people beat me in Mario Kart. This is hard out here. And you can't even pronounce their names. It's like they're like vaporwave albums. You can't even say their names. Which I should show y'all. That's another thing about the music I listen to, is that it's named unpronounceable Chinese symbols. Not even Chinese, they're Japanese, but because they're unpronounceable, I'm not Google translating them. They got me, and to quote myself, they got me fucked up. Alright, I'm not gonna translate every single song because they named it something Chinese, and it's always like feelings or sadness in the rain. I renamed these entire songs like strange things. Like, I give them the funniest names. Like, I'm like, this song's called Destroyed Chinese Toilet, and it just works. Like, I'll be playing it in the car, and someone's like, so you listen to an album called Destroyed Chinese Toilet? I'm like, yeah. And this one's Dishonored Toilet, and this one has a straight jank on it. I'm telling you, I'm still very much into human music. I just love just how relevant music can be. Like, that is the part that's like, wow, there's something here. You know, I'm not like a human trader. I'm not like using Gen AI and submitting that as my work. Like, you know, that's heinous. Like, if you started accusing me of stuff like that, that would be crazy. If I was just like, yeah. I mean, I still experiment with trying to reference the stuff that I get from Midjourney, but it's like, there's better ways to get references, like actually going to air shows and shit instead of being like, you know, generate an airplane. But it does give you some designs that make you ponder. And, you know, you're probably like, why not just use a concept artist? And, you know, sometimes it works out like that and you could just use a concept guy. But sometimes it's just not so easy. Like, you know, once you do that, then you're beholden to them in your portfolio, and people just, you know, I think that's why one of the reasons AI is going to rise is because people do hate having to credit sources and things and people and things like that, and just being able to take all that and say like, yeah, I did all this, like, yeah, and it sucks. Congratulations. Like, that is also part of it, right? So we have to push it. Like, my goal isn't to just like find a job that AI can do and just be like, okay, AI, do this job for me, print me money. No, I want to do human dreams, and I do need help. You know, I could be talking to professors of literature and drive them crazy with what ifs that probably would sound treasonous, or I can just, and these are the things that kind of help win me over. I was like, man, oh, I could either become a better human communicator or I can learn how to prompt better. And one of them sounded a lot easier. So let us just make this connection and perform a slide and hang on that for a moment for awkward irony. Makes it funnier. Let's get rid of this. Just get rid of it wholesale, because why is it even there? We gotta think about some of these. Right here, and we're done. So we're just jumping around this piece and we're almost done. Like, I seriously think I wrote a check that I couldn't cash with Box Cutter. Like, a lesson is learned, or I'm gonna have to start talking about like making like safe models, like, or not, you know, we're not gonna be safe being safe. I am probably going to avoid certain situations, you know, or at least think about like the implications. You know, I always talk about the implications now, like it's always sunny, but we do want to think about the implications of all of our design choices that we make, because some of the things that we do maybe aren't good for us in the long run, even though they work out for us in the short term. Not even talking about AI, I'm talking about on a design level. Like, you know, we did wedges and things like that, and, you know, what does it take to solve a wedge? Really, we shouldn't even have to limit our design choices, right, based on topology. That is the moral, that's the basis thought at the root of all of this. Like, if we get to the most root thought, we shouldn't have to limit our design based on topology. So the question is, how do we do that? Also, where did that line go? Oh, it went all the way here. We will go ahead and connect here. And I still like all the songs with Cthulhu, but I do have to work on better villains and continue with that. Like, I'm just having a little fun with this, but I'm telling you, if you guys think I cracked, y'all should watch my videos over time, because I was always talking about, hey, I want to make a musical. I just say that because, you know, musical is just the funniest way to put it. Obviously, I don't watch musicals. I'm not a weirdo. I mean, I shouldn't say that. I'm insulting people who watch musicals, but I don't watch musicals, okay? I'm not like over here doing that. But when people were recommending the Umbrella Academy to me, they were like, oh yeah, you're not gonna like it because there's this moment that's like really musical. And, you know, those moments are actually kind of cool in the show. Not trying to give it props on that level. It certainly doesn't deserve it, but maybe it does. You know, it's a thing to finish the show. Thinking about how we want to handle this. Maybe like so. Maybe want to. Let's try this one. Still thinking. Think. Take a drink. The yellow is strong. The yellow is too strong. And, you know, when it comes to solving such things, it's always double try for us, you know. If we're just thinking about how we just solve it, right? Like, we're just jumping around this mesh, we're just solving things. something like so, and we're done. Somewhat. You know, do we want to get rid of that triangle? Do we want to get rid of that triangle? All a triangle is a terminator of a flow. So if we put a loop in there to help it out, we'd probably need to carry something along here, trading the triangle just to give this bottom area reinforcement. So just because once you see something, you can't unsee it, like a small mistake that's going to hurt you when you put a subdivision, let us go ahead and solve that. And we'll put a line in between. And for this, let us think about how we want to solve it. And we get rid of that. And so from here, we see that we probably do want to slide that all the way in, giving us that, and we just trade the try for a stronger redirect, which isn't the worst idea. I mean, same thing here. We do care about these things. And, you know, whenever you put wedge as a choice in your design, just know that wedge requires a, I don't know, I would call it a cringe topological solution. But I'm being a rusty, lame-o modeler. Like, just give me enough time to pressure cook myself to insanity, and my topology will certainly begin to improve as well. Which is the point of this. I want to show myself also improving in real time, like to go on this journey, this adventure, and have it be a thing that people are able to look and see upon, and it just be a chapter in 3D, you know, that culminates into 3D becoming a video game. So let us go ahead and turn this over into big view, big view, a solid view. And I don't like some aspects. I was about to admire it, but I can't admire it with the mistake in front of me. This thing can move out of the way. Having it up top is distracting. And basically I want a loop all the way down. And so let's just use hard loop. That is not hard loop. And what we want is hard loop. And see, in the earliest stories, I was like having people fight demons, and that's a different type of funny. But like I said, it's a little religious, and I come from a religious town, so it's like maybe I shouldn't play with that. People will be like, "Yeah, you're blaspheming the Lord." I have people protesting at my house. Wouldn't that be crazy? I'd be like, wow, this music is making a difference. I want to be on the news for the wrong reasons. Lucifer got such a bad rap in this story because, you know, the hero's journey, she gets stabbed in the back and she falls out of heaven like Kratos. So that's the only way you could end such a story. And we just wanted to loop down the middle just so it has a nice look to it. And with that, we can, oh, and you know what's crazy is we're not even done. We gotta solve these babies. And that's what's messed up, is we're not done. We thought we were done. We're not done. We're nowhere near done. The hell continues. I got too happy. I forgot my plan. I had a specific plan for this asset, and I tried to hack my way through it. And I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to wrap up the video and be like, I did it, guys. I'm the best. Because that's hacky. That is bad. Like, I'm not trying to hack it, guys. I'm trying to do this. I'm trying to do this hard, as if my life depends on it. Alright, so what we want to do is we're just going to apply. Sometimes it's just easy. And then, of course, we still have mirror. Doesn't matter. But what does matter are these little things that are left by a spin in the middle. And I'm looking at them, you know, I thought that one was sticking out somewhere else, but now that we have this, and we could have made it easier. We could have made this easier. You're like, it could have been easier? Let's see it be easier. Okay, why do you have to kill yourself? Alright, fine. Let's do that then. Let us bring back everything. 1, 2, 3. And we have so many ways to bring back booleans that, you know, when people are like, I'm confused by which option to use. Like, well, I mean, a lot of them do the same thing. We just have it in different styles to appeal to everybody, or at least we try to. So we want it, instead of 12, let's make it 6. 6 is a little hacky. 6 is like, I don't deserve to be able to sleep in my bed at night. Which is I do love having a bed. I didn't always have a bed in my 3D journey. And I think of all this stuff all the time. I'm like, wow. my journey in 3D results in me eating food daily, and that is something, you know, something to me. Like, I try to spend some time being grateful. Like, never ever think of me as ungrateful, because I am always grateful. Every sell matters. Every customer, thank you. Thank you so much. You matter. Every customer. And I'm not even saying that in a sarcastic way. I'm saying, like, every person matters. Unless you're a jerk, and then I mean, you also matter, but don't matter as much to me. You're a jerk. So I mean, what do I do with that? So we have a little more work to do, but because you matter, I mean, even if you aren't getting the product, it doesn't matter. You're just watching this video. I mean, can't win them all. Can't win them all. You gotta define winning. That was the thing. Talking about Shogun again, but yeah, Toranaga, he had to decide what winning was, and winning is whatever he decided it was. Like, and in his game, he won. Like, basically, he was living in a world that wanted him dead. They were like conspiring to kill him. So the fact that he lived makes him a winner in his game. Now he plans to fight a war next season, so I assume he's gonna fight a war. That's what happens when you look at the wilderness and you look like you're about to make a war. He had that war face. That's what you hired this guy to do. The actor who plays, I forget his name. I should know this stuff when I'm bringing this up in video. These are the things that I'm actually embarrassed about, is not knowing an actor. But there's just so many, and so many great ones. I feel bad. But like I said, so many. That's what people probably say about Blender artists. Like, dang, I gotta at least work hard to make sure my name is remembered. And it is. Like, how many people curse my name in the Moonlight? Like, it is. Some neighborhoods have cats. My neighborhood has detractors. They're like cursing my name in the Moonlight, and that is a different thing to go to sleep to at night. The cats, that's what the cats are in the window about. They're like, hey, I hear a detractor. I'm just goofing off here, and I see that I'm making terrible mistakes with this mesh. So let us, something like that, and then we perform a slide, and we are getting there. These circles, mistakes, they're what I'd call mistakes. Like, I'm telling you, I wrote a check that I am going to be watching myself the next time I do a Blender plasticity comparison. Just because, maybe I don't want to be solving all crazy. No, I'm kidding. I'm just over here talking smack. You got to lay it on. And I look at like theatrics, like WWE theatrics. And I always have to mention with that I'm not a fan of wrestling at all, because, so many terrible things happen in wrestling. The fans stick through it, though. The fans are like, yeah, Vince McMahon may have did all that stuff, but they fired him last week. I mean, he might come back next week in a skit. He might be back in a skit next week, but right now he's fired, and that's it. And that's kind of funny. So if I get fired, who knows? Machine's the new Hops commissioner, and I'm playing. Wouldn't that be crazy? Like, but I wish the world was that interesting. Like, I mean, that's what I think now. Like, I'm like, man, the world is so interesting. I mean, the world could be so interesting. I was about to say the world is so interesting. The world is more tragedy than interesting, to be honest. Like, I spend more of my day gawking at horrifying things than I do admiring things. Like, we have a group called Hope and Humanity, but we also have a group called Societal Decline, and it basically only highlights just how terrible this world is. And I know that's like a weird thing to focus on, right? But it's like, it's kind of relevant. It does show like what things people are affected by, and just how terrible the world is just everywhere. But it is like also kind of I would say the right term is based, meaning it'll probably change your mind on things. And that's not my job to do to people. I'm just a guy making jokes in a Blender tutorial, trying to have fun. But you know, some things are just unavoidable, right? Like, I mean, we're in a nation that's like a constant tragedy, so can't stop ever thinking about it. You know, and everything's always being compared to the last tragedy. So that, you know, now we're measuring things in 9/11s. It's like, you know how many 9/11s that is? Like, oh my God, how many? I hope none. What do you mean we're measuring things in 9/11s? But no, I'm just making more America jokes over here because America deserves it. America, we have thick skin. I think we have thick skins over here. We probably don't. I say that, and then they're just gonna start waging war. Uh, I love all the songs about the guy making the tool becoming a fiend, like a fiend lord. Like, it's just the most edgy thing ever. You know, if the background track is there, yo ho ho, and that is me telling the AI, okay, the song was funny that first way, but and anytime the song's talking about cats, written by me, or basically strongly implied to the AI, like, hey, I need you to talk about my cats. Like, I've already realized that I need to make basically my cats like dark lieutenants in the dark universe. But that was part of the marketing. The marketing would have been me unveiling this dark universe and then getting sued by Universal. I mean, that part's a Universal joke because they have a dark universe. I'm just trying to explain these things so that way I don't sound like a complete lunatic. I'm just so used to people just not even understanding what I'm saying. They're like, dude, there's like 10 things I need you to explain to me that you just said. I'm like, I don't actually have the will to talk anymore. I've run out of will for talking for the day. They're like, what? It's like, yeah, I'm all out of will, bro. I'm done. My will's over. Talk to you tomorrow. They're like, what? So we are just modeling, having a little modeling session of therapy, modeling therapy, just playing. That'd be funny, just model through therapy with you guys. The silent stranger, you know, that's who you are in my head canon. You know, just a silent stranger. Like, you're not saying anything. You know, maybe you're hate watching me, maybe you're love watching me. You know, maybe you love me, which I hope so. Like, that's crazy. Everybody can use a lover. I mean, or a fighter. I mean, yo ho ho, the tool lives on. All right, put that on my tombstone. You know, especially if the tool does live on. All right. The greatest tool, in darkness he hides. Now, I spend a lot of time in my office in the dark, but it's because it's like easier to see, and also it is very edge and it feels nice. Like, hey. Hey, my girlfriend probably hates this song. Like, basically any song where I'm like talking about the tools being a legacy, it just makes me sound like a loser. It's just funny. And like I said, some of the songs that talk about the tools being created in heaven, I just thought those were a little too dramatic. I was like, wow, people are gonna think I believe my own hype, and I don't, because I'm always talking about bugs. I'm like, listen, there's bugs, and they must be gone. And I'm going to complain about them every day until they're gone, because they must be gone. I'm just solving and jumping up this thing. Right now we're in puzzle mode, where I thought I solved it. We could have ended and done a bake or something, and had those details be baked. I mean, realistically, if you're like one of those people that's like, why is MX doing this? Like, you know, I think I explained it best in a comment with Chip, where I was just like, yo, I've modeled this way, and I just think it'd be funny to now model a different way to basically clean Geo up and just be a Geo cleaner and focus only on Geo cleanup for a while. Like, it's just funny. But people don't have the same sense of humor as me. I'm often told that when they're not laughing and they're trying to whoop my ass outside. They're like, hey, my wife laughed at your joke, but I didn't. I'm like, oh snap. That's funny, but we'll try to keep it topical. I did a joke about bull my wife in videos, and you know, I took it down because I didn't want people to get the wrong idea. Like, but so I was like, "Do you have a wife?" Like, no. I mean, do I have a wife that I hate so bad I'd make a song about her? That is funny. That is very funny. And also, don't imply that. My girlfriend will get very mad. She'll think that I have a secret wife. Alright. I'm already extra at home. I don't need to be giving two families my nonsense. So, we are just cleaning up Geo, moving big tries around. And right now, our solution is rather basic. What I want to do is grab these edges. Let's try to grab that. The swoot. You know, I love it when AI gets the word swoot wrong. It's supposed to be sweet. But songs would mispronounce it in these early versions of Suno. And I would just stop using Suno for a bit. I just get mad because, like, why would you make such a beautiful song and then you just call my tool a swoot? It's not a swoot, alright? And if anyone tells you it is, they are liars, alright? Oh my god. Where is my selection? Let's undo that. Let's flip the normals. Let's put a smooth by normals at the end here. And let's try that again. We're just going to grab the geometry on the inside and just grab the boundary loops because that is like easier. And selection is one of those things I think about all the time. Like right now, we haven't begun to even try anything with selection, but I really feel like selection could be made fun. Like it could be like, I'm always asking myself, what would it be like if it was done on a PlayStation 2? I mean, obviously it would suck because PlayStation 2s were like such a weird stage in gaming. Things were looking kind of alright, they were looking better, but they just weren't like all the way there. You know, you had like things like the bouncer, and then you also had like Final Fantasy 12. You know, I loved the Queen of Dalmasca. I thought she was like the greatest looking 3D model of all time, but really, out of all the Final Fantasy women, you gotta give it up for Riku. You gotta give it up for Yuna. You know, if you talk smack about Yuna, I will unfriend you. You know, don't even go there. Don't, you know, people have died for less with me. You know, do not die over Yuna. All right, and I'm talking about a particular person in the comments who knows me personally. You know, I'm always making jokes referencing people I know IRL, just because it's funny. Just throw them in there. Really bring you guys in. Uh-oh. Vibe change. Heart. And I love this one too. So now we have the circle solved, and it wasn't so bad. Let's go ahead and enable subdivision, and we turn off overlays and take a look at our geometry. And not too bad if I say so myself. We solved it, and what a battle it was. I almost wanted to try out the new rake, but I do at least want the V1 to be competent before I show it. Like, I do care about those things. So I'm talking about it right now to build a hype, but just know that, you know, it'll be lovely when it's ready. At least I'm hoping. You know, I always try to do things in a way that I want to use it always. And I'm looking at this area and I'm thinking, that's just not good. That's just not good solving. You know, ugh. So we gotta do better. And also, I try to solve from the wrong area. And let's just simplify this a little bit. Something like so. And we're just goofing off with triangles just to put it in the right place. And our topo is just so loose, and it's because we need like perimeter protection up top, but I'm just not gonna go there. All right, we're getting crazy with this mesh. So we do have the next piece, which is these little things, and we do want to solve them. So if you want to call me a hack job for not solving that even harder, get at me. In a video game, don't come to my house. I'll leave out the back door with my gun. I will shoot at you. In reverse as I run away. I mean, what else are you supposed to do? But I will flee, and also I will dump. I will dump and flee. So let us clean our sharps because we don't want any, and we just want to clean this up. But how do we want to clean it up? I'm going to use a little bit of inflow. You know, inflow, I plan to get back on it very hard. But I'm jumping between insolve and inflow, you know, just various aspects. One's for today, one's for the night. No, I'm playing. But y'all have seen me solve so much whenever it comes to, I am going to grab this from the info editor because if you think I'm going to reuse that over and over in that format, I'm not. We are going to grab that right now and we are going to go back into our config, maybe even get rid of the other one. We have a tooltip that will tell us that control click will remove any other preset except the one that we're in, and we're just going to paste that in, and we'll go back out of tour mode so it's beautiful again. One of my favorite things. I love inflow. As long as I'm not getting complaints about it, I almost can't use it unless I'm getting complaints about it. Like if people are telling me, yo, that thing sucks, then I got to get in there, get testing it, got to start writing lists, checking them twice, making sure the tool's both naughty and very nice. Sorry, that was written off the cuff right there. Some people say that those are my best moments in videos, is when I'm 100% random off the cuff. So we're just gonna, why does that not fit? You know what? We won't ask. Just like we won't ask what happened to Umbrella Academy. So let us go ahead and exit out of inflow and go back to insolve, the other castle. Now holding all princesses. And something like that will certainly do. And what we'll do is double check the normals. That way we can perform. Is this thing mirrored? What the hell's going on here? Okay, no, there's doubles. Doubles are, we gotta detect them. When there's a problem caused by something, we need to be able to detect it. So, this tool is going to get very far because the problems that you encounter, they're plentiful. And, with the way my mind works is I need a solution, and then I need an alternative solution, and then I need a fallback solution. So people are like, man, HardOps has too many functions. Look, it's great when everything's in paradise, when everything's working, when everything's just glorious. Everything's glorious. But, one day things won't be glorious. Blender will break things and destroy other things, and it just happens so much and so often that, in my mind, I'm just thinking, gotta have an alternative, gotta have a replacement, because you just never know when the most important system ever will be destroyed for reasons defying your understanding at times. But, who are you to question anything? Knave? No, I'm playing. Just start talking like the king. And we're trying to solve this, but, I feel like we have two different groups of geo here, so let's count the geometry, see why this isn't working. And I bet this is why Snake was supposed to be born, because if that's 32 and that's also 32, then they should be able to solve to each other. And if they can't solve, then that means that there's an offset that I feel needs to happen, in modeling. Like, we have to solve 1 billion holes, and then we can ask, hey, is it faster? And then if it isn't, we got to solve 1 billion more holes. And now that I sanity checked it, where I went and asked it questions, the mesh is like, oh, I'll stop tripping. You're asking me crazy questions. It's like, yo, I will replace you. Also, I was talking about getting a pizza like a long time ago, and if I model any longer, I will forget about the pizza and be eating leftovers, which is probably what's going to happen. That's my woman. I'm telling you, I'm going to say, hey, what do you think about pizza? She's going to say, what about leftovers from yesterday? Be like, well, that's less exciting, but you have a very strong point. When you're right, you're right. That's how I look at it with her. Like, she be right all the time. That's it. No one likes to know it all. Alright. No, I'm kidding. That's the extra joke, right? The wife is always right. Except I gotta get married, and I can't even get married as long as I'm basically a loser. So I gotta, like, get it together on multiple levels. I gotta get my models together, gotta get everything together. If I ever have any dreams of such a thing. Otherwise, I am just... Let's look at this. What is causing... I just get distracted by what I'm seeing here. First of all, there's something weird happening here. And we don't want to be an inflow for this, at least for this. but we probably could use a little bit. 32 and 32. So we connect to these, and we'll just use bridge. I'm not sure what I'm doing. Control E, bridge. And we could probably have a mode inside of inflow that handles selecting, and then it hands it to us. So let us continue moving. We're just jumping up this thing. I mean, these things are insignificant, but we're just making sure that they fit because it's just better. It's nice to have them fit. And from here, we want to basically Alt 4, and we can get in here and use something like offset. And there's just alternative ways to do things that I just never even recall out of my brain yet, because they're so foreign. They just are still, they're new tools in the toolbox. And old habits for me just die very hard. Even habits that hurt me. Muscle memories of pain. I should do audio about that. You talk about memories of pain, muscle memories of pain, like of having memories of the past hurt you in painful ways because you remember it. In your arms bulge like the Hulk. I'm telling you, the words write itself if you just start ranting about it. So hopefully everyone's out there at least looking at GPT and just getting familiar with it, because I show it to everybody. I should do a video where I just talk about how I introduce it to people, because I always show people a very particular way. I'm like, hey, this is what AI sees when it looks at you, because that's like the way you get their attention. You're like, hey, this is what AI sees when it looks at you. And like AI will start saying all sorts of stuff. It's like, yo, your room's messy, your hair's messy, you're unshaven. It's like, dang, AI, lay off me, bro. Alright, so that rant is over, and so is this video. I mean, I could solve it even more. I could just keep solving. I could just solve all day. And as I solve all day, I realize that we don't have a way to basically check the entire mesh to verify that the entire thing has been solved. So I almost got out without fully solving this. On the streets, that would make me what you call a poly smuggler. So we don't want that. We don't want to be known as a poly smuggler. And also, I'm not trying to do the other side. It's been a long day, and we are just popping these babies on the other side like so that way we can get in and hit it with the subdivision, and it holds together. But just like that, we have now righted the wrong that we did from our wild night of playing with plasticity and making handhelds. A handheld is so much more of a pain whenever you're dealing with it on a topological level. Oh, and I realized that there's a piece in the back I didn't even touch. So if I want to complete this video and get the completion achievement for this painful mesh of doom, it's just funny. It's funny to say that. I'm saying that in a joking way. But let's take a look at what we have. So this one should be a fast solve. Like, we're not going to half-ass it, guys. Like I'm telling you, when you catch me half-assing it, that's what I want y'all to hold me to the fire over. Like, put me up against a wall if y'all think I'm half-assing it. If I'm dialing it in, ooh, let me know. Let me know. Because I am trying to do it. And this is, I'm telling you, we're just getting started. We're modeling anime parts, and I'm trying to move on to basically real-world objects of pain. Real-world objects of pain. And then do entire real-world projects of pain all the way. Hopefully to completion. We're going to figure it out. We're going to nail the workflow, nail down a game plan. We're just going to get in there and do it. Like, I had someone write me on the Patreon. They were like, yo, can you do an Xbox? Because they like the PlayStation one. And, I didn't have access to a Xbox, like as a retro game console. Like, I started ranting to them about how the Xbox is a POS, like on a hardware level. Like, they just weren't good, and they're like tech garbage. And that's why I'm not a fun person to talk to. I'm a weirdo. Because I'll be like, actually, you are requesting a terrible game console, So, we don't want that. Well, I do. I care more about being right. It's important. But these are things These are things I care about. And so from here, what we want to do is maybe place that there. And I'm just looking at this thinking that's going to need reinforcement, that's going to need reinforcement, and there's no getting around that. And I'm also looking at this thinking that right here is the new origin. So we say origin to selection, and we do that, and now we don't have to do the bottom. So activated a cheat code in the game that's like basically using a trainer on the mesh for I don't even know what that cheat would be called in a Game Shark. In fact, me talking about Game Shark shows that I have a habit of being a crappy gamer. You know, if a game starts destroying me, I'm old now, so you know I can't be getting destroyed by a game too long. But some games are designed for that, and I do enjoy those. Like, that's one thing that I definitely me and Guppy meet in the middle on is our love of very difficult games. Like, I love it. It shows a resilience in a man's soul, you know, to beat Elden Ring and Dark Souls, and to admire it and enter those worlds. Like, you know, we are looking at the completion of this model, and that is actually exciting to me. Like, we're almost done. We're almost done, meaning we survived this. Like, it was a crazy thing to do. I was just laughing at this song because now the universe is so much crazier. Like, it just gets crazier and crazier as I keep working on like different ideas and just like pumping them into this thing, being like, can you know, the first thing I ask it when I give it a cringy story is, can you play it? Can you just tell me a synopsis of the story I just gave you? You know, and I just read through it as minutes, like pretending it's a DVD cover, and I'm like, yeah, a 12-year-old would buy that. A 12-year-old would buy that. It's like the bloody world of the blood bunnies. Like, Dad, can I have this game? It's like, yeah, sure, son. Blood bunnies can't cause that big of a problem sociologically later. It's just playing. And so that's how my son became a blood bunny. No, I'm kidding. Just start making jokes about blood bunnies. Alright, so let's take a look at the modifier stack. We want to activate modifier scroll. This song is like, I would consider this song like Exhibit A. Like, this song is probably the first banger. Like, literally, like, this song is the very first song that, I mean, that I felt like, I was like, yo, AI is spitting. Like, and I showed my friends, and they were like, yeah, dog, this is the worst thing I ever heard. I was like, oh my god, you're right. But they all, if the thing is, I'm the weakness. Like, I am. Like, I'm trying to give it the best I got, and AI's like, hey, can you get this human-ass human out of here? Like, right now. So I jumped over to layouts. But yeah, AI's like, hey, can you get this human-ass human out of here? But it needs me. It needs me. I'm the storyteller. I'm the man in the machine. So we need to set our origin to the selection, and we'll press Alt-X, and we're just going to bisect, bisect, and bisect, just keeping it all mirror. You know, I love mirror. Mirror's so great, and really there's no reason to do anything to mirror now. And with that said, I want to rewrite mirror. I mean, not completely rewrite it right now, but you know, in the future I do want to make some heavy changes to mirror, resulting in what would be basically the next generation of mirror. So to say such a thing is heresy, but that's the pattern with hops. Like, and my favorite pattern with hops, we get it right and then we redo it over and over. It's just an iterative system of remakes and getting the workflow just right. So I mean, every now and then customers will give us complaints about how they wish something would be, and that information gives us guidance on what the next iteration can be when it's reborn. Everybody loves a good rebirth story, to quote what someone told me earlier. And we look at this, and our screen was like no time. Like, I mean, once I start really getting them knuckles moving, solving ain't nothing. I mean, we could solve this, oh, we could solve this. And it's like, do I want to solve this? I mean, at what point does it just get nuts, guys? Like, is there madness? Am I going mad? Let me know in the comments below. Just playing. Just, that's what YouTubers be doing. They're like, am I insane? Am I a crazy person? Let me know in the comments below. Alright, and I'm just thinking, is this solidified? Where's it solidified at? Alright, what I do see is that we need to get this to close up. So, and also, why does this look like a wireframe? We'll select this, Control T, Alt J. We got lucky there. Let's go to the other side, Control T, Alt J. Alright, and let's look for N-gons. I don't see any N-gons, but also I don't know what the kind of mesh this is. I know that's weird to say. It's just, it was a solid mesh, and now it's a wire mesh. So call me an idiot. Let us offset our edges, and I don't even know if this is going to work. I know I'm making a mistake. Like, I already know that I'm doing regrettable actions because one doesn't just solve this shape. One doesn't just go in and just solve one of these shapes in such a mechanical, inhuman way, and it just works out. It just doesn't. But we're still going to do it because, you know, I do want that pizza. I'm going to have the pizza, guys. I'm going to have it. I mean, I'm also going to exercise tomorrow. Maybe. You know, let's not get it. Okay, now that works. But part of it doesn't work. Let's get back to it. Alright, so we have all these edges and we need it to work out. And we don't need them to overlap. That's the part that messed us up, is the overlap. I like to have them meet and then merge in like this kind of meet cute. Meet cute. I feel like I sound like I'm from the show The Wire. So, you know, if you have issues with the show The Wire, you got issues with me. Alright, that is my show. But it's like a slow burn. It's a slow burn of a show. But I love The Wire. Like, it was just generationally interesting. Like, I was like, who would write this? Like, it was just such an interesting dichotomy of just American life and just how generationally the youth are screwed. Like, it was just such a really interesting show. And now it's a comfort watch for me. But I don't need comfort. I am pleased. I need comfort if I have to do another mesh like that. But with that, we now are done. And of course, we are at a high level of subdivision with this because we are putting high level subdivisions on this. I mean, I'm subbed in on 3 on some of these because I want it to be real nice and smooth, like real purty. And we're just having a little fun with subdivision. Subdivision is not about being efficient. Subdivision to me is about just solving and a certain way of just having the mesh display compared to being bevel based. Like, bevel is still good. I'm not turning my back on bevel. I'm just saying it was easy street and it was too easy, and now I'm trying to make things a little bit harder, and you're going to just hopefully see things get harder and harder till they're undoable. And when it gets to the point that I can't do anything, that will be even funnier, right? Like, that would be the funniest gag ever. So stay tuned. Who knows? Maybe I'll go mad tomorrow, or maybe I'm just going to go have some pizza, chill out, drink some water. If you're in a bad mood, it turns out that drinking water will lessen your bad mood, which I didn't know. I didn't believe it. But now when I get mad, I just drink a bunch of water. And then I feel better. And I'm like, my HP's restoring. It is insane. I'm sorry. I'm out of here, guys.